Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. I hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day. Remember, it's not about hamburgers and hot dogs. It's about remembering and honoring those that have paid the ultimate price for our freedoms. So I hope you're having a wonderful 2021 Memorial Day. We're going to talk about the new XLR Industries Element 4.0. So guys, this replaces the 3.0 chassis. This is not magnesium, it is aluminum. Price point on this chassis system is going to be under $600 the way that you see it. Let's talk about why you might want a chassis. Let's say you go and you buy you a rifle, let's say a Remington 700 or a Bergara or something like that, and it comes with a really nice stock. You still have the adjustable cheek riser on here, you still have your adjustable length of pull, but you're not going to see the integrations like an Arca Swiss rail, or let's say maybe a vertical standalone grip with a thumb perch. So maybe you want to upgrade it. This would be a great option for you without going into a chassis that's, let's say, $1,200 or $1,300 like the MPA Matrix or the MDT ACC or the XLR JVMV Pro. Let's say you want something that's more cost effective. Maybe still use it for hunting, possibly a Hunter Series match, and it will still give you that integration with Arca Swiss and everything else. I think this is going to fit that bill very nicely. What you've got is you've got a limb saver recoil pad here. This would be for the larger calibers. You still have full adjustability for cant. You can still do that in the rear, as well as your adjustable cheek riser. XLR uses this tube system so you can have a really short length of pull. So if you have a junior shooter, maybe doing PRS rimfire or something like that, but as they grow, you can adapt to their size. You also have the spirit level here. So that's a nice touch. You do have the cutouts here for the underbelly weights. Now, just disregard these weights because these weights actually don't come with the system. These are out of a JVMV Pro. And some of them will work. It really depends on what action you have it for, because they do everything for the Savage action to the Remington 700 footprint to Tikkas. So you might want to check with them on that. You do have the M-Lock at 3, 6, and 9 with that full Arca Swiss. So I'm going to let you guys take a look at this up close. I think it is a great option for upgrading your platform. Maybe not for full-on competition, but you could. Now, a lot of you might say, well, what does it weigh? Guys, this only weighs in at 28 ounces. It's actually lighter than this factory stock here. And so you'll probably see that's the case for quite a bit. So if you wanted to use this for hunting, or let's say you wanted to use your tripod with an Arca Swiss adapter, you could do that. It is nice that you can use some of the weights from the JVMV Pro, but it does have its own weight system. So you won't be able to use all the weights out of a JVMV Pro if you had some leftovers, but you can still use the ones for here. You can still put a bag rider on it. You can still put the tube weights in, and those are available at an additional cost through XLR Industries. XLR Industries is one of the oldest manufacturers of chassis around. They do a lot of stuff for Anschutz, and I wasn't even aware of that. Big shout out to XLR Industries for helping support the channel. They've been very good to us, and then also a very big supporter of a lot of PRS rimfire and centerfire matches. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw this into, you guys have seen this before, this is the carbon Bergara B14. So throwing this into this with a light barrel, what you're going to find is if you're looking for that balance point, it's going to be butt heavy, okay? I can't make this any lighter. The only thing I could do is add more weights up here, but remember, this is a lightweight 22 barrel. But let's say you wanted to get more competitive, or let's say you wanted to get into PRS shooting. What you're typically going to see is you might get your action rebarreled, and you might have something like a 26 or 28-inch barrel, and typically what you're going to see is a nose-heavy gun, and you'll need those weights to balance it out. So what we'll do is we'll throw a Remington 700 with about a 29-inch barrel on here. We'll see if we can balance it out, and I'll show you how quick and effective this chassis is. I'm really excited about this chassis. They are shipping now. One of the other things about it is if you are a left-handed shooter, this does accommodate left-handed actions. You can take this insert, take it out, put it on the other side, but we are going to be putting it in a right-handed action today. So I'm going to let you guys take a look at this. You still see the 4 screws here. You can put it on the optional thumb perch if you like to shoot that way, or you could put it on the other side, but then they also have other accessories for like a shot timer or a clock like that. So let's go ahead and get this into the action. We'll go ahead and shoot a couple rounds with it, and then we'll move on to the next. Stay tuned. So putting it into a new chassis is as simple as taking out 2 action screws. So what we're going to do is just place this in here, make sure you're on the recoil lug, and you'll take the long screw, which typically goes in the back, and you'll insert it into the trigger guard area. What you want to do is get it started. You do not want to get this tight yet. We just want to keep from losing it. Then what you'll do is you'll take your shorter screw and you're typically going to put that on the front, okay? So let me go ahead and put this in here like this. We'll get it started. And that's about all we want to do. Now what we want to do is insert a magazine, an empty magazine, and we want to make sure we put pressure on it because we want to make sure that we don't have any feed issues. Now remember, this is a rim fire, so those can be a little more finicky than, let's say, a center fire style action. All right, guys, so what you'll do is you'll take your magazine, you'll insert it, and then what you want to do is put pressure on it like you're on a barricade. This is a good time to go ahead and snug them up a little bit more. And when I say a little bit more, all we're doing is probably 20 inch-pounds. We're just putting some pressure on this, and we're just going to get it just lightly snug, and then what we want to do is torque it down. Now, torque rating is going to vary anywhere from 45 to about 55 inch-pounds, but I've got it where it's holding it because I put that pressure on it already. I'll use my Borka torque driver, and we're going to go 45. Let's go ahead and check the rear. 45. We'll go ahead and check the front again. Should be good to go, and if I did everything right, this should drop freely, just like that. So I shouldn't have any feed issues. Let's go ahead and get this on some targets, maybe at 100, 200 yards with this 22, and then we'll switch it out to a long barrel like a 223 Ackley Improved. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so looking out here at the range today, you're gonna notice we have a lot of different chassis out here. We have the XLR, the JV Pro. We also have some MDT, the ACC chassis, but one of the things you're gonna notice is all of them have that Arca Swiss rail. Let's talk about why that's attractive. All right, so one of the reasons why I like the Arca Swiss is I don't have a cheese grater on here like a Picatinny. I'm not having to mount something on this that can catch my skin, so for hunting or anything like that, it's great. They do give you a place here for a sling swivel stud, and almost all of your bipods, now this is the Thunder Beast, but almost all your bipods are gonna give you some way of converting that bipod over to an Arca Swiss. Whether that is a Atlas, or a Thunder Beast, or a Sky, you can always just put this on here, slide it down, and basically it works like a dovetail. And all I'm doing is screwing this on. The reason this makes it really nice is if I have something really small, let's say I have to shoot off of a log, I can actually take this, get it really close, and you guys can see I don't need much purchase here to rest on that log or that barrel. But if I needed more stability, I can always bring it out a lot further. So just for hunting application, Arca Swiss is nice, it's user-friendly. And then if I had a tripod, I know a lot of people shoot with tripods when they're hunting. I've got a quick on and off depending on the ball head that you have, and then I've got a really stable platform to be able to shoot off of. So it has its place in hunting using that Arca Swiss. It still gives me that full free float, and the action on this is just really smooth integrated into this. So let's go ahead and take some shots with it, and before we switch it out to the center fire. Stay tuned. All right, so now that we've got the Bergara in this action, we've got it zeroed up. You guys know how to use a bipod and everything, but I'll show you the versatility of that Arca Swiss. So we could put it out wide, but let's say we were on the top of a log or something. This is a pretty tough position to shoot from. You could definitely do it, but with just a turn knob, I can actually get it in close. It's more on its balance point, and I can just balance it right here. Let's shoot at, let's say 100 yards here. Impact, impact. Let's go ahead and just stretch it all the way out to 300. This is a low percentage shot, guys, especially for a 22, but we'll try it, and the wind's up there just a little. That's an impact. So having that Arca Swiss gives you a lot of different options. What we'll do now is we'll go ahead and throw it on, let's say a tripod, and we'll see if we can make the same shots. Hold on. So many people hunt with a tripod, so having a tripod with, let's say, a ball head that's set up for Arca will work, and you don't have to take your bipod off. All I've got to do is just move it out of the way. I could put my Arca Swiss on here, and let's say I needed to take that shot at 100. And guys, this would be a very, very stable impact, impact. So it just gives you a stable position. Let's see if we can take this at 300. We'll try it. What the heck? Why not, right? There it is, 300 yards. So guys, that's the beauty of this Arca Swiss. Now, the other thing is with a chassis system, you're able to change the weights out. And what I want to show you guys is, let me grab a bag real quick. So let's say you had a shooting bag. Now we're not talking about PRS application, guys. What we're talking about is, let's say, hunting application or something like that. With this really light barrel up front, you'll see that we're butt heavy. I mean, if I let this go, it's going to fall. It's not going to be balanced like, let's say, a true PRS rifle. Let me grab one of those and show you the difference. So guys, like a true PRS rifle is going to have a much longer, heavier barrel, and you might need to add these weights. You can see the same back end, but on something like this, you guys can see that it balances itself. It's perfectly balanced, so I've got a very neutral position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Element 4.0 and I'm going to put a PRS in it and see if we can get it to balance out. All right, guys, so I just took the Bergara out of the Element 4.0. And I've placed a Remington 700 action in here. This is one made for me by Desert Precision Gun Works. Kenneth E. makes an unbelievable rifle. This is a 29-inch barrel, but case in point, guys, look how balanced it is. So if I wanted to, let's say, get into competition or light competition, I could still do it with this chassis. It will still serve me well, and I could still use it for hunting or anything else, still use it with a tripod, lock it in, do whatever I need to do. Just to show you guys how well balanced it is, I can actually take a bag, put it here, and if I needed to shoot it, I'm still balanced just like that. And some of you guys say, well, you got a lot of weight up there on the front. You can still rotate this around, and you'll see I can actually get even more nose heavy if I wanted to. So guys, it is a great chassis system for under $600. It's a way to modernize whatever rifle you have. They have a lot of different actions available, so you might want to check them out. XLR Industries. Big shout out to those guys. And once again, I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day week and weekend. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.